Okay, thank you everyone for being here today. This is our first information session of the academic year, so we are going to go ahead and get started. We're going to just give you an overview of education abroad and national student exchange, the different programs and opportunities that are available to students. We are a part of the Office of International Affairs here on campus, so we are alongside International Student and Scholar Services and the Passport Office as well. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and put your name and email address in the chat so we can follow up with you. If you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to drop those in the chat as well. At the very end, we will have some time for questions, so I'll just review anything in the chat there, and we can also just go over questions live at that point. So, first and foremost, why study abroad? There are a million reasons. I studied abroad myself when I was in college. I can say that every single one of these was true for me, whether I anticipated it beforehand or kind of realized it along the way during the experience. But first and foremost, any program that you go on through our office, you will be earning academic credit. This is really nice because it ensures that students will continue to make progress towards their degree without any delays because you're going to be taking classes abroad that are pre-approved and will transfer back as NMSU credits. Studying abroad is also a great way to study a foreign language. So just to draw on my own personal experiences a bit, when I studied abroad my junior year of college, I studied abroad in Chile. I was a global studies and a Spanish major, so I had to go for my Spanish major. I had to study abroad somewhere and practice the language. And I can tell you, I learned 10 times faster studying abroad, being fully immersed in the culture and the language every single day than I ever had learned in a classroom back home. It is by far the best way to just really throw yourself into studying that language. You will have opportunities to learn languages that you might not have had the opportunity to learn back home, and you will just pick it up really quickly. It's also a great way to learn about a new culture, really just kind of stepping into that new country, that new culture you're going to experience, different traditions, holidays, learn about how different people across the world approach different cultural events, how they see the world. It increases your international perspective and kind of gives you a different way of viewing the world around you. It's also a really good way to push yourself outside your comfort zone. Just like a new job, a new college, any new experience can be kind of scary and intimidating at first. Studying abroad, moving to a different country, it really pushes you to kind of challenge yourself, get out of that comfort zone a little bit. I always tell my students when they come to me and they're like, I'm a little nervous about studying abroad. I'm really getting kind of scared to leave. I tell them, this is a scary experience going somewhere new, and you are going to grow so much, and it's going to be phenomenal because you are pushing yourself to do this. It's also a great way to develop some networking skills. You are going to meet people from all over the world, build lasting relationships, be in different classes. Maybe you're going to do an internship abroad or conduct some research somewhere where you're going to be meeting people, networking, and really building those relationships that can serve you down the road. And finally, it is one of the most transformative experiences that you can have. There is really nothing quite like going abroad and experiencing a different culture, a different community to really just transform the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, and all of that. So, safe to say, I highly recommend it. It is the best choice that I made for myself while I was in college, and I recommend it to everybody. So education abroad, specifically here at NMSU. So we have programs throughout the entire year. We offer over 100 programs in over 35 countries in just about every single region. So there are lots of options depending on where you want to go, what you want to study, and just kind of what you're interested in. There are also a variety of program types, lengths, and term options. So you can go for as little as 1 week. Maybe it's a spring break faculty-led international program, which I'll explain in a minute. You could go a full academic semester, or maybe a summer abroad, or you could go up to an entire year. These program options are available all throughout the year, summer, winter break, spring, even spring break, or the fall. So really kind of whatever you're thinking you want to do, wherever you are in your college career, there is something that could be a good fit for you. So since these are programs that carry academic credit, there is some basic eligibility that you must have. So first and foremost, you must be at least a sophomore in credits and at least 18. So we will check both of these before we accept any students and move forward with the program. We'll also make sure that you have at least a 2.5 minimum GPA. This is our office's requirement for all of our programs, but some programs do require a slightly higher GPA just depending on what they're looking for. Finally, we will always check to make sure that you're in good disciplinary standing. We can't send you abroad if you have any sanctions, probations, things like that with student conduct, so we'll always check to make sure that you are good to go. There's also some different program types. So these are the main program types you're going to see when you're looking at different program options. First is an exchange program. On an exchange program, you're going to pay your in-state NMSU tuition. For exchanges, these universities abroad are sending students to our school here at NMSU, and we are sending students abroad as well, and you get to pay that tuition. So there's always a certain balance of students, a flow of students coming and going. On a direct program, you will pay whatever the tuition is or the program fee for that program you've chosen, and you will enroll directly in that program or university abroad. So the cost might be more, it might be less than NMSU tuition, but it won't be that tuition rate. We also have intensive language programs. So I advise on our Spanish programs here, and Spanish is really popular for intensive language because you can take NMSU Spanish language credits and earn those credits in just 2 weeks abroad, depending on the class that you choose. So you can move through it really quickly. We also have faculty-led international programs. So these are a great opportunity for students who maybe aren't sure if they want to go abroad for a really long time on their own, or maybe there's a really specific topic you're looking to study while you're abroad. On a faculty-led international program, different NMSU professors will choose to lead a program. These are normally shorter, maybe a week, maybe 3 weeks, but normally just a very short-term program, and they will choose a specific topic. So we have one that does Spanish in Costa Rica. We've had one focused on tropical insect ecology, public health, brewing and distilling, business options, kind of a whole wide range depending on what the professors are interested in that cycle. And you will travel with that professor and the group of your NMSU peers to that country and do your classes or do specific programming activities related to the topic of that program. So it's a really good way to kind of get your feet wet. If you love it, go on a full semester abroad, go on your own somewhere for the summer and really keep going with the process. Finally, there are options to either do an internship abroad or conduct research depending on what you're interested in. Not all programs offer this component, but some of them do. So just talk to your education abroad advisor if this is something that you're interested in, and we would be happy to work with you closely to find a good option. We are also really excited to offer the National Student Exchange Program. I did not know about this when I was a student. If I had, I would have been going all over the US for different experiences during my college time. The National Student Exchange involves an entire network of different universities in the US, Canada, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the US Virgin Islands. These programs are all a part of this exchange network. So we get students here at NMSU from NSE, and we send students abroad as well, or not abroad, we send students to those states as well. You will pay whatever you're paying here at NMSU tuition for your tuition. It's open only to graduates, but this is great if you're thinking you might want to go to graduate school one day. You can go to that state or go to that school as an undergraduate, try it out and see if it's a good fit for you, and then apply there later on for graduate school. This is open during the fall, spring, or the academic year. It's a really great way to kind of see a different part of the country, experience something different. Maybe you want to go to Hawaii or Alaska or go to a Big Ten school out in the Midwest and just get an entirely different experience than you're getting here at NMSU. So we do have some application deadlines. So if you are looking to do a spring or winter break program, those are the programs that we are actively planning for right now. That deadline is going to be September 15th, so about 3 weeks away from now. It is not too late to reach out to us and to start an application if this is something that you're interested in. We are still working with students, getting them in applications, getting the requirements completed so they can go this upcoming winter break or spring. If you're looking a bit further down the line, either summer or fall of 2025, that deadline is going to be March 15th. You can still open an application for summer right now. Fall, we're not quite open yet, but you can get those applications going and have a lot of time to really prepare for them. We have some slightly different deadlines over here that you can see for the National Student Exchange Program because they have a pretty specific placement program. We do have an advisor, Bethany, who specifically works with National Student Exchange, and she'll work with you closely on your placements, your interests, and finding a program that's a good fit for you and kind of walking you through those deadlines. So in terms of your academics, as advisors, we are here to help you find a program that's a good fit for you. So if you start early, you can even take your general education courses. You're also open to taking your major and minor course requirements abroad. This is what's going to help you stay on track for graduation. If you can check off some of those course requirements, but just on a program in a different country, you're going to continue making that progress you need towards graduation. You can also receive a waiver for one of your two required Viewing the Wider World courses if you go on a program 4 weeks or longer. So this will include some of our summer programs, depending on how long you're gone, and then any semester program is going to meet this requirement. When you come back from your study abroad experience, you just need to go to the associate dean of your college, request that waiver, and it will be applied towards your degree audit. The advisors, myself and Bethany, we work really closely with you to guide you through your course approvals process before you go abroad to make sure that you're going on a program that makes sense for your academic program. So cost and funding. It's a really common misconception and a myth that study abroad is way too expensive for students to actually achieve. This is not the case. We view study abroad as an investment in your future, your networking skills, your ability to travel and grow as a person and open your eyes to different cultures and experiences. And it can also be quite affordable. Many programs, especially if you're looking at an exchange program where you're paying that in-state tuition, are comparable in a cost to a semester here at MSU. If you think about it, if you go especially on an exchange, you're going to be paying the same tuition, your in-state tuition. You'll have your housing payments being made for whatever your housing is abroad. Maybe it's even cheaper than NMSU housing. You'll have food just like you would have a meal plan here. You'll have a flight and some additional costs associated with your travel, but it does not have to be that much above what your regular semester would be here. We work really hard to make sure that we have programs available for students of all financial backgrounds, and we work really hard as well to offer different scholarships and to educate students on scholarship opportunities to help with those costs. It's also a misconception that you cannot use your financial aid. So most federal aid, New Mexico state aid like Opportunity and Lottery, and some institutional scholarships can be used to pay towards your study abroad program. There are some scholarships that are not allowed, like a lot of the out-of-state scholarships, work study. Financial aid has an entire list of them that you can also get to from our website, but a lot of your aid package may be available to use towards your program. If you are using financial aid, whether it be your federal, your state aid, institutional scholarships, you must continue to meet your eligibility requirements abroad. So if you have a scholarship that requires you be in 15 credits and keep a 3.0 GPA, that's what you have to do while you're abroad as well to maintain that scholarship and avoid paying it back. We always recommend to our students once we start meeting with you that you meet with your financial aid advisor so you can figure out how much of your aid will cover your program costs and then how much you'll be covering out of pocket on your own. But it is definitely an option to use aid. There's also additional scholarships. So please, please, please make sure you've done your Scholar Dollar. Not just for our office. There is money out there. There are scholarships available that you might not even know you qualify for. So go into your Scholar Dollar each semester, fill it out as far as you can, answer all the questions you can. We have our scholarships. You will apply for them as part of your application to study abroad with our office. We need both your application scholarship questionnaire complete and your Scholar Dollar to consider you for different scholarships. But we have many options available for our students, depending on where you want to go, what your background is, what your interests are, and different categories like that. There's also other scholarships available. One that we always like to talk to our students about is the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship. This is a program put on by the U.S. Department of State. It enables students of limited financial means to study or intern abroad. It will support programs of any program length in various countries, various programs, areas of study. There's only three main requirements. You must be a U.S. citizen, you must be an undergraduate, and you must be receiving the Pell Grant. So if you don't know whether or not you received the Pell Grant, check your FAFSA, talk to your financial aid advisor. But a lot of our students are really competitive with this scholarship, and we have a lot of our students winning the Gilman. They do prioritize minority serving institutions, one of which is NMSU, and our students historically have just done really well with their applications. You can win up to $5,000 towards your program to help out with those costs. And we are going to have an upcoming application workshop because there is a Gilman deadline coming up in October. We will have one in person early September and then one on Zoom in mid-September, and you can find more information on those on Crimson Connection. There's other national scholarships as well. So these will vary depending on where you're studying abroad, what you're studying, when you're studying, things like that. If you receive the Pell, if you are eligible for Gilman and you're planning on studying in East or Southeast Asia, you should also apply for the Freeman Asia Scholarship. This has similar eligibility to Gilman. The Fund for Education Abroad is also similar to Gilman, but that Pell requirement is removed and you just need to demonstrate some financial need to that application. There's also Gilman McCain. This is for students who are the dependents, either spousal or child, of an active duty service member. You do not need to receive Pell, you just need to receive some type of federal aid. Finally, there's lots of other scholarship options. In addition to being an advisor for the programs that I work with here in Education Abroad, I also advise our students and coordinate our scholarships. So I would be thrilled to talk to you more about that. They're also all linked on our website under the scholarships page, and you can explore a very wide range of scholarships available for you. So, health and safety, we cannot talk about study abroad without talking about health and safety. As advisors, as your staff members here, this is something we take very seriously, and this is something that all of our partners abroad take seriously as well. So, one of the ways that we manage our health and safety for students is by mandating that all students attend a pre-departure orientation before they leave the country. So, every single student who goes on a program, whether it's a short-term faculty-led program or an entire academic year abroad, they are going to be attending a pre-departure session where we will cover Health Matters. The health center on campus comes and presents. We will cover logistics of traveling, how to book a flight, how to be safe and smart about your travel. We'll cover culture shock and things like that, just to help you kind of adjust and navigate this process. We also require that all of our students enroll in the U.S. Department of State Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, also known as STEP. This is something that I've done every single time I traveled. I just traveled for work about a month ago now to Ecuador. I registered my travel with this program, STEP. All you do is create an account with the Department of State and you tell them your travels, your emergency contact information, where you're going and when. This then guarantees that if something happens while you're traveling in that country, the U.S. Department of State A knows where you are, so they can help get you out of the country if you have to for whatever reason. And B, they will communicate any risks to you while you're there. On my previous travels in Latin America, one time I was traveling and there was a protest in front of the US Embassy. I did not know about it, but because I was enrolled in STEP and because I was getting notifications from them about issues in my area in Argentina where I was, I received a notification saying, hey, there's a protest on July 4th in front of the US Embassy. Avoid the area on that day. And so I knew to go a different route for my travels that day and to make sure to avoid that area, all because I was enrolled in STEP. We also require that all of our students are enrolled in an insurance plan while they're abroad. So this makes sure that you're covered in case something happens to you medically while you're abroad. The plan that we use is GeoBlue. Our students are not required to register themselves. We take care of the registration and then bill student accounts. This makes sure that we know where all the students are and we can pull them out of the country if something happens. It also helps you if you sprain an ankle, if you get COVID or the flu or a stomach bug, whatever might happen during your day-to-day life abroad, just like it might happen here at home, you'll have that support from GeoBlue. They also offer great counseling resources to students. You can translate the titles of medications, find a doctor or a pharmacy. It is a great resource to make sure you continue to be supported while you're abroad. There's also great on-site support programs from the different programs that we work with. So when you are traveling abroad, either to a program or a different university abroad, they're going to have likely orientations, a welcome week, in-country staff or advisors just like us, but on their end of the program to help you settle into that country, that environment. They'll provide you with resources. Some universities might have their own counseling services that you can take advantage of. There are lots of support systems for students abroad, and we will also continue to support you here from NMSU. So now we're going to talk about a couple of different programs that are available to our students. So first one here is a great example. This is UNEP, University of New York in Prague. It is located in Prague in the Czech Republic. They have a really wide range of courses available for students. So anywhere from business to political science to psychology. So if you are majoring in one of these areas or you need general education courses in one of these areas, this would be a great program for you. They offer on-campus housing, so students will be located in apartments that have kitchens, modern appliances, and there's even a cafe available on campus. Prague is really affordable in terms of a lot of the European city offerings, and it is a beautiful, historic, easy to navigate option for our students. In terms of the National Student Exchange, one of the programs we like to highlight is the University of Rhode Island. So this is located in Kingston in southern Rhode Island, so you'd be out on the East Coast. Culturally, In terms of weather, food, everything, completely different from New Mexico. They even offer oceanography as a school, which is a really cool option for our students because that is not something we have a lot of options available for here in New Mexico. Students love the beaches where they can go surfing, swimming, and really just enjoy being out in nature there, out on the East Coast. So it's also important to talk about passports. We are really lucky to be able to partner with the passport acceptance facility here on campus. A couple of us here in the office are certified passport acceptance agents as well. So from time to time, we will step in and help with processing passport applications. So at the passport facility, you can get your first time passport application submitted. We can do your photos, we'll accept your payments, we'll send in your application for you and show you how to track it, all in one stop. So, a few things to point out about your passport applications. So, the main part of the passport application is called the DS-11 form. We have paper forms available in the passport office. There's a link to the form on the passport website and at travel.state.gov. You can fill this out ahead of your appointment, bring it with to your scheduled appointment, and the passport acceptance agent will review your application with you, let you know if there's any errors that need to be corrected before you send it in, therefore reducing any back and forth or rejection of your application. We'll cover the application fees. Current processing times for passport applications are 6 to 8 weeks. If you pay extra to get it expedited, that time decreases to 2 to 3 weeks. If you are interested in studying abroad, you must have a passport. If you are interested and you do not have a passport, please make an appointment as soon as possible with the passport acceptance facility. Especially if you're studying somewhere that requires a visa, you will need your passport ready to go when you apply for your visa because you will be physically mailing in your passport to get your visa pasted into it. So even if this is just something that's mildly of interest to you, go ahead, do that passport application. It'll be good for 10 years and then you don't have to worry about it. It's also important to mention those processing times can fluctuate throughout the year. A lot of times they will get longer during the summer when people are really gearing up to travel a lot. So just stay on top of that application and just submit as soon as you're able to. For your application, you'll have to submit proof of U.S. citizenship. This can include your birth certificate, a naturalization document of some sort, or a previous passport. You will have to submit an original and one copy with your passport application. You'll get your document back after you receive your passport in the mail. You'll also need to submit your photo ID copy. So this can be a driver's license, a military ID, or a state-issued ID. The passport book costs $130. There is also a passport card. The passport card cannot get you through travel via an airline, so it's only good for land entry. So we recommend all of our students at least get the passport book. You can also get the card if you think you would use it, but you do need the passport book for the vast majority of our programs. The processing fee at our office here is $35. We can also take your photos for $10. You'll receive two photos. One will go with your application, one you can hang on to maybe to use as a visa photo should you need it. And it's important to keep in mind we can only accept checks or money orders for your passport. The Department of State will not accept cash or anything else. So to contact us, please go ahead and email passportoffice@nmsu.edu or give us a call. We also have a brand new website that looks really nice, has all the information you need. It is by appointment only, so please make sure to schedule an appointment online if you're interested. Appointments fill up, the calendar is always full, so make sure to get on top of this if this is something that you know that you will be needing. There's also an Instagram account, and the website, when you make an appointment, will let you know all the documents you need, how much everything's going to cost, and what format you should bring your money into your appointment. So, just to wrap up here, some information about scheduling your appointment, how to get in touch with our office. So, we have two advisors. I am Lisa. I advise for our Spanish speaking and Portuguese speaking programs primarily, as well as a handful of programs in Europe, and then our international student teaching program. My colleague Bethany advises for everything that I do not, Africa, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, the Middle East, the European countries that I do not cover, and then a couple other programs as well as the National Student Exchange. We're available to meet in person with students or on Zoom as well, whatever fits your schedule and your preferences. We also have walk-in Wednesdays, so you can always schedule an appointment on our website for a specific date and time, or you can come to our walk-in hours. So from 1 to 4 p.m. every single Wednesday when classes are in session, we open up our office to students just to come and drop in for advising. You'll check in with our student worker at the front desk. She will check you in, get your information, and she will let you know which advisor is ready to meet with you. And then just on the spot, we will advise you and kind of get you going with the program. Once you're in a program, you can also drop in during a walk-in Wednesday just to kind of check in on the status, ask us questions, anything like that. Every Wednesday, there's classes, 1 to 4 p.m. We are in Educational Services Center, room 6, where the financial aid offices are, cost advisors, accounts receivable, everything like that. This is our website. If you are interested in scheduling an appointment, that button is going to be in the upper right-hand corner. This will take you to our Study Abroad portal where you can go ahead and schedule an appointment directly. You will go ahead and click on the Request an Appointment button for the advisor you're interested in. On our profile pages, we will have a list of the programs that each of us advises for, so you know you're getting to talk to the right person. When you go in to do this, you should also click the Click to Request an Appointment button. That will let you schedule for a specific date and time that works for you and works for us. Send us a little bit of information about where you're wanting to go, what you're wanting to study, just so we can prepare for your appointment, and then we will reach out to you to let you know that the appointment is confirmed and on our calendars. So this is our contact information. So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We are also now on TikTok at the exact same handle. We are now in the Educational Services Center. We were previously in a different building on campus, but we've moved to this building. And this is where you can find our website if you ever want to look at the programs we have available or reach out to us directly there. We will also be holding an Education Abroad fair this semester. So this fall, November 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we take over the first floor of Corbett. You will see tables filled with our information, NMSU departments, different program providers we work with across the world. They will be coming to talk to you about the programs they offer and how you can get involved. This event is already on Crimson Connection, so if you are interested, please go ahead, add it to your calendar. Ask us any questions you have, and we would be very excited to see you there. That concludes the official formal presentation. So I am going to go ahead and stop the recording here, and we can move on to questions.